now the reason we have you on, because what you do on Photography Is Not a Crime is actually it's instances of people running in trouble with the police when they try to film police officers. And now we have this shooting in South Carolina. Police officer shoots a deadbeat dad who doesn't pay child support. And the police officer, much like George Zimmerman's case when he killed Trayvon Martin, no arrest, looked like he was going to go about his life without incident, the police officer, until, boom, someone came through with a cell phone video camera that showed the shooting. Now the guy's been charged with first-degree murder. So what are your thoughts on this case? You know, we have some new information now with the dashboard camera. You know, should this police officer be charged with murder in South Carolina?
Of course he should. I mean, the guy was not a threat to him. The guy was a fleeing suspect, and you know, the cop already had his information. He had his driver license. Yeah. I mean, there was no way. It wasn't like he was just going to escape and never be found again. They already knew who he was. He was not a violent person. He just owed money in child support, and in South Carolina, they put people in jail for months at a time, or up to a year.
Yeah.
So this guy didn't want to go to jail, and whether he made the right decision or not does not mean he should be shot in the back. The other thing is the cop not only shot him, then he walked up and threw the taser down next to his body, and then he claimed that he was shot because there was a struggle with the taser, and the guy took his taser, and the cop was in fear for his life. That is the whole. I mean, he falsified reports. He committed murder. Mm-hmm. You know, and this happens all the time. And we finally get to see it firsthand.
You know, we have. You know, you're a supporter of law enforcement being filmed as much as possible to put context into what really happened as opposed to what's in a police report. And yesterday, a new piece of video came out. The dashboard camera came out. And in the dashboard camera, we find out a couple of other things about the deadbeat dad that ended up getting shot, that actually he made some aggressive moves towards the police officer before he took off running. Have you seen the dashboard cam?
I did not see that. Yes, I did. I didn't see any aggressive moves towards the officer.
Right. There were a couple of things. Let me tell you what I saw, and I also want to play some audio to you. Geraldo Rivera's commented on the dashboard cam, and I want to hear your thoughts on it. But he was pulled over. The police officer comes back to his cruiser with his ID. The deadbeat dad is driving a unregistered vehicle, which is also a crime. But he got aggressive in that he got out of his car and started to move towards the officer when the officer was back at the car. And the police officer yelled at him.
Is that what you Is that what you saw? Is that what you saw? That he stepped out of the car and he went towards you saw him going towards the cop? Because I did not see that at all. I mean, I think you're seeing something different.
He got out of the car and turned around towards the police officer, and the officer yelled at him to get back into the car, which he did. But that's an aggressive move. You get out of a car at a traffic stop is an aggressive move.
No. See, so you're taking the fact that he stepped out of his car and looked towards the officer as an aggressive move. Well, you're part of the problem, Brian. You're part of the problem because you're taking that as an aggressive move. Then you basically want to justify that this cop had every right to kill him. Am I correct?
No, I didn't say. Well, hold on. A couple things happened here. That's not all that happened.
That's what I'm getting here.
Then he got back into the car. Yeah, he got back into the car. The deadbeat dad. By the way, what kind of father was he? He owes $10,000 in child support, and he's driving around in a Mercedes. Was he a good father? Or
is that relevant to the fact that he was killed? Is that relevant to this conversation?
It goes to the type of kind of person he is. It goes to his character. He's a deadbeat dad, isn't he? I mean, he's kind of a low-life character, wouldn't you say?
I'm not going to say anything about his character as a father because I don't know him personally.
He had warrants out for him for not paying child support, $10,000. That's pretty low life to me.
Well, good. Well, do you think he deserves to be shot in the back?
Not for not paying child support. But let me play now. Geraldo Rivera, well-known investigative journalist and recent celebrity apprentice, right? Geraldo Rivera saw the dashboard camera, and he actually, I'm going to play some audio for you. We're talking with Carlos Miller, founder of Photography Is Not a Crime, great website you should check out. Here, Geraldo says that the dashboard cam is actually going to get the murder charge dropped on the officer. Listen to this, Carlos.
extremely glad that they released the dash cam video because it gives context to the event. However horrific and tragic and outrageous the shooting in the back is, it shows that it started as a righteous traffic stop. There was a light out. The driver was acting very hinky, very edgy. He got out of the car. Was told to get back in the car. Clearly, the officer involved was checking to see whether there were outstanding warrants. The victim knew there was the outstanding warrant for child support. He bolts. The officer runs after him. The taser comes out. There is a struggle. We don't see. You don't see, but there is a reliable, eyewitness account that there is a struggle after the taser. So up until that point, the cop with his adrenaline pumping. Now he's been in a physical tussle. Now, the perpetrator has reached for the taser allegedly. Now it gives you the context of his blood boiling. He has done everything professional, and now he's had this civilian has dared to physically have this altercation with the officer. Put that in the officer's head now. I think it saves him from the murder rap.
Okay, there you go, Carlos. So we have a witness now, since the dashboard cam has come out, that says that the deadbeat dad actually struggled with the police officer in a physical confrontation. Would that change things for you?
No, because the guy, we saw the video, we saw the guy running, we saw the cop shoot him in the back from like 20 feet, maybe 30 feet. We saw the cop walk up to the body, drop the taser next to the body, talk into his walkie-talkie and make up his story that the guy he took his taser and was going to use it against him. That's what we saw. I don't really care what Geraldo Rivera says, because Geraldo Rivera is really not the best source on these issues, to be honest with you.
Don't tell me I'm going to lose.
Go on about his credibility. But whatever. Anyway, so go on.
Really? He's the celebrity apprentice. What are you talking about? Geraldo Rivera is not credible. He's one of the most well-known investigative journalists in American history. I think he's very credible. Go ahead.
All right. Anyway, Geraldo, wasn't he the one that uncovered Al Capone's vault and didn't find anything inside?
Well, that wasn't an investigative news story. That was like a reality TV event.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm talking about.
That was a live thing, and that was like 30 years ago. But we saw the dashboard.
Right,
now, let's go back to this stun gun thing. The police officer didn't want to kill this deadbeat dad. He tried to stun him with the stun gun, and the stun gun had no effect. There was a physical confrontation. He didn't want to kill him. He tried to stun him. If a stun gun doesn't work on someone, that's usually someone that's hopped up on drugs. That's someone that seems kind of dangerous to me if I'm an officer trying to get home to my pregnant wife that night.
Right, and you don't think this man wants to get home to his family?
His family? Are you kidding? His family, the one he's not paying child support to? No, he doesn't want the family to find him. He's hiding out from the family.
Brian, you have this all. Brian, look, you have this all figured out. You're saying he did not want to kill the guy, but then we saw he did kill him. So knowing what he thought, who actually possessed him to pull out the gun and pull the trigger 8 times? 8 times, and you're saying that he did not want to kill him?
No, he didn't. He tried to.
But Brian, maybe if they have.
He was just running his ID through the computer at a traffic stop on an unregistered car by a guy with bench warrants. He didn't stop him and shoot him. He stopped him, and things went south when the guy ran from the car and got into a confrontation, a physical confrontation, according to the witness, Geraldo's talking about there on Fox this morning, with the officer. There's a witness who backs up the officer's story that the deadbeat dad tried to take the stun gun from the officer. Would that change things?
No, Brian, because the witness. Now, we saw, to me, I'm seeing the video. I don't really care. Maybe this guy ran because he was afraid for his life. You got a cop who wants to tase him, and he ran, and he was afraid for his life. And then the cop pulled out his gun and shot him. That's what I saw.
No, see, this
is interesting. There's no excuse.
Carlos Miller, he's got this great blog called Photography is Not a Crime, and he's an advocate. I'm for this. I think police should have body cams. Photographyisnotacrime.com is a blog encouraging people to photograph and videotape police officers so things are in context. But, Carlos, you only want to talk about video from one portion in time in the event. Now we have the dashboard camera. We put the two of them together, and we have a movie now. We have a more complete picture, and you want to ignore what was in the dashboard cam and from the eyewitness on the scene. You just want to look at the,
not really.
the one
not
cell
really,
phone
because
video.
Well, yeah, that's the actual shooting. I mean, we've always said that he ran from the traffic stop. He ran. No one denied that he took off running. That's always been the case. No one's saying anything else. He got pulled over for a brake light, and he ran because he did not want to go back to jail on his
He was in an
support.
unregistered vehicle, and
in that case, okay, yeah, well, then I guess that he should have been killed. Is that what you're saying? He was an unregistered vehicle?
What got,
so
listen,
Go
this deadbeat dad, okay, owes $10,000 in child support while he's out buying them.
Brian, let me tell you something. You can call him a deadbeat dad as many times as you want, but he's not a murderer. There's only one murderer that we're talking about, and that guy is the guy who was wearing the badge. So you have a deadbeat dad, and you have a murderer. That's what you have. So why don't you call the murderer what he is?
Hold on. First off,
the murderer. Okay, the murdering cop. Go on, the murdering cop. Keep talking. The murdering cop. Go on. The murdering cop. Keep saying it. Go say it, Brian. The murdering cop. Keep saying it. Say it.
He's not. No. Excuse me. He's innocent.
The murdering cop. Okay.
The cop is innocent.
Go on.
In the United States, citizens, not even non-citizens, in the United States, you are presumed innocent until proven guilty, and the officer is not.
So why did he shoot him in the back? Why did the murdering cop, shoot him in the back?
Okay.
Why did he act like he was the judge, the jury, and the executioner?
The deadbeat dad was shot very much the same way.
By the murdering cop. The murdering cop, okay.
Court has not declared him guilty. I'm sorry. The cop is innocent until proven guilty. That's
so why was the murdering cop kill the deadbeat dad? Deadbeat dad, even if he was a deadbeat dad, that's not something that you kill people over. That doesn't deserve the death penalty.
I do not know him, but his baby mama says he's a deadbeat dad because she was the one that got the warrant out for his arrest for the child support, okay? Not me. So it was his baby mama that said he was a deadbeat dad. But what got him killed was this very similar thing that got Michael Brown killed in Ferguson. He resisted an officer, and he went for the stun gun. He went for the officer's weapon, and that's what got him. It was really a suicide by cop.
Oh, okay. Well, I was waiting for the whole grab him the gun thing in this case. I didn't think they would be able to stick that. But here we are.
That's what the witness said. The witness backs up the police officer's story now. We've got a witness that's come forward. They back up the police officer's story that he went for the stun gun.
Okay.
If it's proven that he went for the officer's weapon, would that justify any force being used by the officer?
No, because look, if a cop is using his stun gun to tase you, it's only a natural reaction to try to grab the gun and to prevent yourself from getting tased. Yeah. I don't know if you've ever been tased before, but that is just a natural reaction.
I've been tased before.
Okay, well, anyway, this guy ran away. He was no longer a threat. The threat was over. And he was shot in the back, and the cop shot him 8 times. The cop walked up, and why would he have to plant the taser next to him if he was so innocent? Why would he have to falsify a report?
I was watching Fox News a little while ago. They had a taser expert on, and they looked over the video.
Oh, Fox News, okay. Well,
yeah, Fox
then
News.
I guess that's yes, okay.
Yeah, that's right. Fox News. They had a taser expert on Fox News earlier, and they said that they can't tell if that was a taser or not, that it actually might have been sunglasses or eyeglasses.
Okay, well, that's okay then. If the taser expert said that on Fox News, I guess that should be the evidence that presented in court, I imagine, right? Because Fox News, in your opinion, is very credible. In my opinion, it is not. In my opinion, I don't believe anything out of Fox News.
Let me ask you this, Carlo. We're talking to Carlos Miller, founder of the blog Photography Is Not a Crime. You should check it out because there's a lot of great stuff up there. PhotographyIsNotACrime.com. What if he resisted an officer, was involved in a physical confrontation with an officer that he was fleeing from? He continued to run. What if he would have run? You say he's not a threat. What if the deadbeat dad would have run into someone's home? I mean, how is the cop to know that a fleeing suspect who's committed a felony by resisting arrest and assaulting the officer and trying to get his weapon, that's someone that has a presumption of being very dangerous. An officer can't let someone dangerous like that continue to run away and maybe go into a street or a store. You're talking about a dangerous fleeing felon at this point.
Well, the only dangerous person I saw was the guy with a gun. I mean, what if the cop would have shot a random innocent bystander, shooting 8 times? What about that? Well, and the guy did not run into anybody's home. He has no history of running into people's homes.
Let me ask you,
he doesn't pay child support.
Let me ask you, Carlos Miller. Let me ask you about Michael Brown in Ferguson. What about that incident? Was that a good shoot by the officer, Darren Wilson?
Well, you know what? No one has ever seen the video. There was no video on there, so that is, everyone has come to their own conclusion or their own opinion. I have my own opinion on that.
Well, what's your opinion? I mean, he committed strong-arm robbery, and then he tried to kill a cop.
Well, my opinion is that he did not come charging as a cop. My opinion is, yes, he committed strong-arm robbery, but he's not, because he's not mentally ill. He was never mentally ill. He's not stupid. When a guy is pointing a gun at you, you don't come charging at him. But that is the narrative.
Yeah, but if you're high on drugs, he had drugs in his system, Mike. Eric Holder, who's Obama's attorney.
Marijuana does not make people violent. Marijuana does not make
Depends
people
on what's
violent.
in the marijuana. You don't know what's in the marijuana.
Well, no, we saw he had marijuana in his system. That's what the autopsy said.
The gentle giant got very violent with the guy in the store, but Eric Holder, Barack Obama's Attorney General, his investigation determined that Darren Wilson did the right thing shooting Michael Brown, determined that hands up, don't shoot didn't happen, that it was a lie. That's Eric Holder.
No, well, the thing about the hands up, don't shoot is that became a slogan after the fact that people saw Michael Brown raise his arm. He didn't actually say, hands up, don't shoot. He raised his arms. That's what the witnesses say. The whole thing is that
they lied when they
said that. That was never that. No one ever said that. He said that. He never actually said that.
The witnesses said that to the media, but when they put their hand up and swore to tell the truth under penalty of perjury to the grand jury, they recanted that story and said he didn't have his hands up. More than a dozen.
Oh, including the witness who was not even at the scene, who actually she swore an oath.
He talked to Eric Holder. Eric Holder determined it was a good shoot. See, here's the problem that I have with the left when it comes to these things.
Why don't we talk? The Ferguson thing is over. Why don't we continue talking about South Carolina?
It's all one big thing. Since Trayvon Martin, it's one after the other. But the problem I have with the left is when there's a white police officer who shoots someone who's black.
It's not about the left or the right. It's not about the left or the right.
Absolutely it is.
If you want to make it a partisan issue, then you're the one who's part of the problem.
It is a partisan issue. Yeah, you're a leftist, aren't you? You're a leftist. Well, it's okay. It's okay to be.
Well, you know what? I have no shame in my politics.
No, that's fine. I'm a conservative.
It's not about politics.
Yeah, but here's the problem I have with the left. You'll get upset when one black person who's a fleeing felon, both Michael Brown and this deadbeat dad, fleeing felons. You have 2 fleeing felons. They get shot by a white cop, and you're burning towns down. But over the weekend in Chicago, 18 black kids will get shot, and none of you say anything. They've been shot by other blacks, and you don't say anything.
Well, my issue is about police abuse. So I don't know what you're talking about. Where I have to talk about what happened in Chicago. My thing has always been about police abuse, and that's my thing. You've even said that, so I don't know why you're trying to switch it on me now.
Well, no, listen. There's almost 1 million cops in this country, 800,000 of them. So you have a group that size, you're going to find bad apples. You can't have a sample size that large and have all saints. Okay, but I think if the police were as bad as Al Sharpton and the left would like us to believe, there'd be shootings like this all the time. In fact, statistics show
there is shootings like this every time. Every single day, people are getting killed. This just happened to be caught on camera. So there is a problem. Your issue is it has not happened to you, so you think you're safe. But when you come across one of those bad apples, as you call them, then you're going to have a change of opinion. You're going to realize, this is not...
I've never been shot, and I've never been arrested. Okay, and the reason is because when I am stopped by the police, and I am sometimes, I got a little lead foot. When I get stopped by the police, I don't run. I don't attack them. I say, yes, sir, thank you, sir. I give them my ID. I give them my registration and proof of insurance, and maybe they write me a ticket, maybe they don't, but I don't get shot and I don't get arrested because I handle myself not like an animal, but like a civilized human being when I'm stopped at a traffic stop.
Right. Okay, Brian. Brian, you. I mean, my impression of you, just by talking to you, is you're a very racist, closed-minded person.
I'm racist,
and that's cool because yes,
what makes me
you're
racist?
very. I mean, when you refer to people as animals, you refer to some people as animals.
Criminals,
just because they don't.
Michael Brown, you attack a police
because
officer.
They don't,
absolutely. If you attack a police officer, you're an animal. How's that racist?
Well, how about the cops who attack citizens every day? Are they animals? Single day? They attack everybody.
I think as a group,
police
officers are good people.
So you don't think they're animals?
You've been attacked by cops?
Yeah, it's been documented.
Well,
but you don't think they're
I've
animals?
never been attacked by cops.
Well,
Why have I
because
not been attacked by cops?
Because you kiss their ass, Brian.
No, I handle myself like a human being when I'm stopped. How am I supposed to?
You don't stand up for your rights. I stand up for my rights. So, cops do not like that. They don't like it.
You stand up for your rights before the judge, not on the street at a traffic stop.
Well,
you stand up. That's what you stand up for your rights in court.
No, because the courts are corrupted as well. You stand up for your rights there. If you don't have the money to pay for a high-powered lawyer, then you have to accept whatever plea deal.
How about this?
You get.
How about don't commit crimes?
Is the system.
How about not commit crimes? How about not committing
crimes?
crimes?
I agree. I agree people should not commit crimes where there are victims. I agree with that. I couldn't agree with you more there. But
this deadbeat dad in South Carolina, if he would not have run from the cops, if he would not have resisted the cops, he'd be alive today. He'd be alive today.
Right, and if the murdering cop wouldn't have shot him, he would be out of jail. He would be out of jail if the murdering cop did not shoot him.
Well, you know what?
So guess...
You say, he's being charged with first-degree murder. That's premeditated. You really think this officer is guilty of first-degree premeditated murder?
I think, yes. I think he deliberately meant to kill him. He shot him 8 times. Yeah, and you saw how calmly he walked up to him.
Premeditated means he planned it out. So this officer actually planned on killing someone that day?
Brian, I don't know. You're the one who knows what he's thinking from what you're telling me.
I'm
in his head. All I know is what I'm seeing. Well, what I saw is he deliberately shot him. There was no accident there. He pulled out his gun, shot him 8 times, and walked up to him and dropped the taser next to him. And then he spoke.
But he
didn't
want to shoot him. The person.
How do you know that? How do you know he did not want to shoot him?
Because I watched both videos. Okay, the cell phone and the dashboard.
Where does he say, "I don't want to shoot him"? Where does he after he shot him? Did he ever say, "Oh, I did not want to shoot him"? No, he never said that.
No, his actions show that. When he pulled the deadbeat dad over in the unregistered Mercedes.
All right, listen, Brian. Brian, listen, I'm a busy man. So
you're a busy man.
If we're going to continue going in circles, then let's just cut the interview. If you have something more, if you want to continue in a more productive manner, you have some more questions, I'd be happy to talk to you. But we're going around in circles, debating on something that you've already made up your mind. And
you
I know what I saw.
You called the cop a murderer. Your mind's not made up?
I told you, I've already made up my mind. I told you that.
Oh, well, why is it only okay for you to make up your mind, but I'm not allowed? Why is it okay for you to make your mind up, but not me?
I didn't say you were not allowed. I'm just saying we're going to be going in circles, wasting each other's time. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, you're big.
I didn't say you're not allowed. You have every right to.
I think this is very productive. People that disagree talking, I think it's very productive. I think people are learning how not to get shot by the cops. You don't run from them. You don't resist them. You don't refuse to give them your ID. You don't try to get their gun or their stun gun away from them. I think we might be saving lives by instructing people listening on how to behave at a traffic stop.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, what do you do at a traffic stop? Take out your phone and start filming them? Do you give them your ID?
Actually, I have a dash cam. Yeah, if they have stopped me for...
You have a dash cam?
Yeah.
So actually what you're doing, Carlos, you're out there, you're looking for trouble. A dash cam?
You have a dash cam?
Well, why do you have a dash cam?
I'm looking for trouble?
Why do you have
To protect
one?
myself. To protect myself. Why wouldn't I?
From what?
From cops who make up stories. But, they pull me over and they make up their stories. I'm protecting myself.
Why would a cop randomly pull you over? They don't know you've got photographyisnotacrime.com. They don't know that you have that that website. They pull you over. Why would they want to lie on you without knowing you?
Yeah, I have a license plate, so I don't make it a secret. My license plate says PINAC, PINAC.
It says PIN. Okay, it's the abbreviation. It's an acronym for photography crime.
I mark it myself, Brian. I'm not ashamed or embarrassed about what I do.
So a police officer pulls you over on a traffic stop. They tell you ran a red light, you're speeding. What do you do?
Mm-hmm.
Do you run?
I give him whatever you want. No, I give my license, my registration, because this is what I do.
That's right. Well, the deadbeat dad didn't. If the guy would have done that in South Carolina, he would be not a deadbeat dad, but an alive deadbeat dad.
Right. Well, now we have a guy who's in jail on murder charges. So
we'll see
somebody made a wrong decision there. Maybe two people made a wrong decision there.
Well, now see, we've gone somewhere. Okay, so you're now saying that the deadbeat dad made some wrong decisions that led to his death. So he has some responsibility in his death then. See, we've gotten somewhere. That's great.
Brian, so I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to get me to admit this cop is in the right. I'm not going to admit that. I'm not going to say anything.
You said that the dead guy has some responsibility, that he did something wrong. Two wrongs. You said two wrongs, which means he has some culpability in his death.
No, Brian, I didn't say that. All right, Brian, listen. Yeah, he shouldn't have run. The other guy should have killed him. Okay, one guy committed a misdemeanor, the other guy committed a felony.
Oh, no. The deadbeat dad committed multiple felonies. Ran from a police officer, resisted a police officer. A witness says he assaulted a police officer, tried to get an officer's weapon. There are several felonies committed by the deadbeat dad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there's one guy who's facing murder charges.
But he hasn't been convicted yet.
No, and we'll see what happens. Maybe they'll get a jury full of people like you, and he'll walk. Right?
Oh man, they should put me on. I'd like to be the jury foreman. I'll volunteer to go to South Carolina to do that.
I have no doubt.
Yeah. All right. Well, nice talking to you, Carlos Miller. He's founder of the cop-hating blog photographyisnotacrime.com. There's a lot of good videos up there. I did a photographyisnotacrime.com. Not a lot of cop lovers are putting videos up there, Carlos. Come on.
No, not really.
They're cop haters. It's a website.
Brian, you are a cop sucker. You are a cop sucker. Remember that. You are a cop
sucker.
Yes. Get on your knees and suck the cop. Okay? Get on your knees.
On 9/11.
That's what you are.
Okay. On 9/11,
fuck
it was
9/11. Fuck 9/11. Okay.
Carlos.
Fuck 9/11. I don't give a fuck about that. All right.
Listen. When the Muslims attacked America hold on. When the Muslims attacked America on 9/11, it was firefighters and police officers who were running into the building to save lives that everyone else was running out of. So, yeah, maybe I am a cop sucker, but they risk their lives to save our butts and keep us safe from your liberal friends out there.
And then we had the Patriot Act. See, you hate Americans. You hate liberals. You hate fellow Americans. I don't hate people. That's the one thing. I don't even hate cops, as you say. But you do. And that is very clear when you judge people by their politics. When there's a lot of people who are conservatives who love my blog, who love my website. They agree with what I say. They might not agree with everything politically I believe in, but they agree with my stance on the police accountability. And people like you are the ones that cops continue to kill people because they know they can get away with it. They know people like you will always defend them no matter what. And that's the problem with this country. You are a cop sucker who hates this country. And that's
right.
Shame.
I hate the country. That's correct. Yes, that's right. All right, Carlos Miller, find his blog, photographyisnotacrime.com. Thanks for your time, Carlos. Take care, all right?
Bye-bye.
All right. Oh, boy, he didn't even say goodbye. He just kind of hung up there. All right, well.
He was mad.
Yeah, well, what are you going to do? Drives around with a dashboard
cam. I was curious. I wanted you to ask him, if cops only go after black guys, why does he have a dash cam? Because he's white,
exactly.
Obviously.
He's Hispanic.
Oh, he's Hispanic. Oh, okay.